balance my trying to balance my phone on my bicycle right now. Here, it's a little crooked, but that's all right. It frees up my hands. I'm here in Balok, Balok. Um, I did a camp last night, and I'm in a spot called like Beach, but it has two names. So yeah, I think it's got the Malaysian name and then the English equivalent or the renaming of it, because I heard that was a thing. Someone like uh, to just rename everything. I noticed a lot of things here in Malaysia seem to have three or four different names on Google Maps, so it's kind of hard to figure out which one to use sometimes, because a bridge could have four names. One name for one side of the bridge because that's that part of the town. One name for this side of the bridge because that's that part, a different town. And then like you know, yeah, then English equivalents and all this stuff. So it's sometimes trying to figure out which name to use. It's kind of a guessing match. So I'm probably sure that a few people are like, "Oh, that's not the spot," you know. He put the wrong name on that spot. I apologize if I did that, but yeah. So I did some hammock camping last night. I actually woke up. I'm still in my hammock, and I'm still here down at the beach. Um, Someone pulled up on a motorcycle. I chose this spot because I got on Google Maps, and you get on satellite view. This is something everybody should be utilizing if you're like out looking to free camp and everything. I know if you're looking for spots to stealth camp, those people always do it. I know like Jesse over at Jesse St. Louis, he does it for trying to find hidden waterfalls and just little hidden gems where he could go exploring and stuff. And he used a combination, I think, of Google Maps and to get the elevation more, Google Earth. And because Google Earth has a little bit more of a, terrain reading. So, um, but you can easily find camping areas and stuff. Good morning, Flea. How you doing, brother? Um, so yeah, I was just saying, I'm here camping. I talked to, hey, Matt's here. What's up, Matt? How you doing, brother? Um, yeah, I got a good night's sleep. And I got here at sundown, but I was moving so slow yesterday because the day was nice. Not because I was being, well, I was kind of being lazy, of course. But I had to recheck my relive or my Strava and see how far I actually went. I probably only went about 30 or 40 kilometers because I'm in, yeah, I'm only in 30, 40 kilometers. I'm in Baluk, but I'm hoping I say that right. So it's like below where I was aiming for, but there was two spots. I could either go north or south. Um, I went, Matt. I'm going north. If you get in, okay. So I share something called my Google Maps journal, right? And each place that I go, I have a folder for. So like in Vietnam, I put a Google Maps folder. In each spot I stay the night, I drop a pin, and then I usually put in it's under notes. I usually put a description of how the day went or whatever. I leave a link to that in the description of all my videos. I need one folder that links all the places together. I should do that pretty soon to show the overall complete journey. But like so in the Malaysian folders, you'll see that I've actually started on the west side. I crossed the border from Thailand on bicycle, of course, into Malaysia, and then I journeyed all the way down from Georgetown and everything like that, all along the coast. I stick to the coast because one, it's easier to find camping along the coast. Two, that's more touristy in certain spots, so the more touristy areas you can get cheaper accommodation. But the main reason is just because of the flat terrain. Honestly, not too much. The going up in the mountains and the hills. I've always, so since Vietnam, I did like the Hagayang loop and all that on what's called Easy Rider. That's where you're riding on the back. It's either that or get a fine if you don't have an international driver's license, and they cost about the same. You have to pay the cops off like 2 million or whatever, dong. And uh, oh no, no, am I steaming from DJI? Good morning. Oh no, am I streaming from DJI? Not yet. Um, I'll do that next. I'll figure that out. A lot of these things are trying to just fit in the time. The My situation is limited on the amount of videos they have. Um, I did 50K. So Matt, not yet. Just because I haven't really found a video that explains it yet. Because we're all like YouTube experts anyway, 15-minute YouTube experts in this day and age. So I haven't become the 15-minute expert on that subject yet. Everybody wants to talk about streaming off their computer. Well, I don't carry around a computer. I do like all my editing and everything just on a smartphone. I keep it as simple as possible. Well, as simple as possible because I don't want to carry around a bunch of garbage. But the fact is since I got my DJI and I started taking YouTube a little more serious than just swinging my phone camera around with my free hand on my bicycle. That's how it started. Um, 10-minute videos and stuff. It I started building up camera equipment, and it's like with anything. I did this when I was making motorized bicycles. So I made during COVID time. I made motorized bicycles. So did a lot of people. So there's people like you can watch on YouTube called L.A. Hoover, um, uh, and ones like that. And at the time, they were great information for actually, Bikeberry is a company you order the parts through and stuff like this. And I did at least 2 major builds. The first one was expensive as hell because it was my first one, right? Even though I had a person there that has done it before, and he helped me more or less tell me where to get the parts and stuff. I still ordered parts because I didn't know, I didn't know the difference between, a true axle and, all this stuff. And, I ended up getting wrong parts and parts that I didn't need. But I was paying for my education, so everything cost more. And there's so many parts that I just didn't need. Well, same thing with the camera, It's a hit and miss. Sometimes a part looks good, like this shoulder mount that I'm actually using. Let me show you, Matt, real quick. So this is the shoulder mount. Now this part actually is for a phone, but this clip, I have a clip that the DJI sits into, and this can just be strapped onto my backpack. I tried to strap it onto my handlebars, which seemed like a great concept at the time, but the fact is the DJI doesn't have that it's a gimbal, yes, so it's a Steadicam, but it has this Steadicam. It's not, so it gets jarred. So anytime I hit a bump, it jarred my video. And having the DJI in my actual hand stopped that action from happening. So let me catch up on some of the comments here, guys. So no, I'm not streaming from DJI yet. I will, though. Yeah. Oh yeah, my hammock. Sure. I had a like baggage up a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna do a walk around real quick. So I had to take my bags off. These are waterproof, so I really did. But as a secondary precaution, it was raining last night, so I got the Hennessy hammock. I did get this. This is a mandatory. It's the bigger pocket. Definitely if you run across the bigger pocket on a Hennessy hammock, it's a must. I have the smaller fly, but I also have the rain fly, but I just have it set up in its most basic form. I have one of the tree huggers on this side, but since it was such a small distance, I went ahead and just this side, because when you wrap around, you can cinch it down. So instead of doing a trucker's hitch, Each time you pull it this way and then pull it back this way, and you cinch it down more, so it actually gets a tighter, you know, instead of doing a trucker's hitch. So this is where I'm at, guys. That's my Hennessy hammock. The beach. Then I just got kind of my clothes hanging from. This is for, believe it or not, I found these at the dollar store. They're just Velcro on and they're a clip. I thought I could actually, the difference between a 4-season and a 3-season is the fact that the 4-season has like an underquilt type that you can jam. Well, it has a pocket underneath that you can jam a underquilt into. I got these because I figured, you know what, I could just get a cheap extra hammock and hang it underneath, and that would actually act as a underquilt, because an underquilt doesn't hug onto anything. It doesn't hug onto anything. It just is like a wind barrier and a dead airspace spot to keep you warm. So I had a visitor this morning on a scooter. He actually, when I came in, I saw this right here, that it's just basically open lot on the other side. So I chose this side because I thought privacy, and it kind of blend into my background. But he's in charge of this area out here, because he says, you know, I was like, is it okay to camp out here? And he says, yes, I want to promote, you know, tourism. He's like, I just want to make sure who's here because I want to keep it safe. And yeah, you have permission to stay here, and you can have a fire and everything, right? Just make sure you keep it under control. This is all through Google Translate, of course. So I have full permission to stay as long as I want. He told me where to go. There's a building right there where he's in, and if anybody ever gives me problems out here, he says there are problems out here. So, well, I mean, he says his job is to keep the bad people out. So I'm assuming he means that there are bad people down here. So, yeah, it's beautiful, guys. This is called, well, the English version is Casa Beach. I'm not going to make an attempt at... Alright, get back to it here. What do we got here that I'm overlooking? Oh, how I tie knots? Yeah, I run on a very simple one. Yeah, I didn't see that one. So that black jacket, Matt asked, you had a cool jacket on in your day one video of Vietnam. It was black and some letters on the front. Do you still have that? Matt, that was, sorry. Matt, that was my Mount Fuji jacket. I got it so I could go up Mount Fuji. There was not a lot of winter clothing because it was summer in Japan when I was doing the Komodo Kodo. So that was pretty well the only one I could get at a souvenir shop. So since it came from a souvenir shop, it was not the best. It was not like a real, it was not a real flight jacket, obviously. I mean, that's obvious, but, you stay? Okay. So that jacket is in my later video. It's actually, if you watch Hidden Hammock, Josh is in the location where I ditched the jacket. So he's actually, I told him where I stayed because it's pretty well the only cheap spot out there. You know, I only pretty well do $10 and less. But he's in that location. I said, hey, this is where I went, and it's beautiful, like a gorgeous area. He's covering some really good areas. He just needs to know which direction to go. So that's where I ditched the jacket. The reason why is I ended up getting the poofy. This is the first time I really got a poofy jacket because I think they, in my opinion, they look ridiculous. unless you're a gangster, you know, unless you know. But anyway, you know, I don't know. I think poofy jackets, because everybody's wearing them and stuff. I think they look ridiculous, but they're very functional, and they collapse down to nothing. They're super lightweight. So after wearing this for a bit, and I decided to give up that one, and I just kind of folded it up nicely. So I took function over form. So yeah, even though I like the look of the other jacket, and it had some sentimental value to it, it was just like this one was way more functional. And the reason why is because this is my sleeping bag. I don't carry around a sleeping bag, so this is what keeps me warm at night. And also, what also keeps you warm at night is rain jackets. You get one big